What's up? Sorry I'm late. Although I only scheduled this live probably 20 minutes ago, and somehow I ended up being 10 minutes late. If you ask me, that's impressive. I did notice, I saw a couple new things loaded here. I know Peyton was talking about the new background, the motion backgrounds that people are using on StreamYard. I see a couple loaded here, but I can't tell what they are. I say we take them for a spin. Oh my God. Yeah, not really. Not really. Let me see. Peyton, are you back there?
Yeah.
I see that you have loaded some new backgrounds.
Yeah, you like those? I made them.
I haven't seen the second one. The first one, I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I don't know how long I could stare at that. I'm not sure.
Oh, I thought it was nice.
It's visually, it's beautiful, but it's really,
Okay.
it's distracting me.
Oh,
Yeah. That's really good. It's good. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, I see. All right. Yeah, no, it's good. What's this one? So that's the first one. Here's the second one. What the hell's this one, dude? The
You don't
price
like
is.
it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh.
This is. This one looks like. This one looks like The Price is Right. What the hell is that? People say Christmassy. There's nothing Christmassy about any of that.
I don't know. I thought it was nice.
No, it's. You're messing with me, right?
No, I put that on there for a reason.
No, I yeah, I think the reason wasn't to, you know what I like, right? You did this on purpose.
No, that wasn't on purpose. I just thought you like it.
No, I did. I mean, how long? How long are people supposed to stay?
I don't know. I mean, you can always move it if you want.
No, that's true. Let me tell you what I'd like. I like the effort. I like the thought, and I like this couldn't have taken you long, right?
I guess not. But I mean,
how long do you think it took you?
It took about 45 to an hour.
45 minutes to an hour. Somebody said their eyes twitching. Somebody said different, but a no-go for a long time. Somebody said, Josh, you're fat.
Thank you for your $2.
Yeah, no, nobody said that. I read it wrong. Anyway, I got to change this. I mean, I just, and then we got this one here. It looks like a, I don't know what that is, dude. It looks like an atomic bomb for like Pride Week or something. Like one of those gender reveal things, but it's like 20 colors.
Yeah. I don't know.
You liked it.
They were nice. Well, yeah. I thought they were nice.
Yeah. I know you did.
I enjoyed looking at them.
Right. I know. And somebody mentioned seizures, and the fact of the matter is you actually have seizures. So I think this has been tested and approved. This is epileptic approved, correct?
Stamped and sealed, baby.
Stamped and sealed. You tested this yourself.
Right.
You stay.
Hey, if I didn't have one, then
Then
sure,
you're
I'll
good to
just
go.
say, yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
when when they tested you and they were flashing a light in your face, for your EEG.
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
and I was thinking, I didn't think what is the point to try to get you to have? I don't understand, but
Yeah, like I definitely could have gotten into a seizure at that moment, but
right, but not with these backgrounds, correct?
no,
Nothing better, nothing bad.
no, it's nothing that can send you in a seizure.
Okay, earlier it's before you go because you have work to do
Right,
before you turn in. You
right,
have stuff you need to get done.
right.
And but let me so you recently, if people aren't familiar, and I'm sure that this chat and most other chats aren't really aware of, or people that watch this show aren't really aware, but there's a video game called MLB The Show. And the point of the show is it has this mode where you start out as a low end double A baseball player, and as you play the game, you get promoted. That is the point of the game, to get to the MLB from the minors. Do I have that right so far?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. And what is it that you so tell me why you didn't get promoted after spending 2 weeks trying to.
Okay. So I've been doing this for the last 5 or 6 years. So this kind of threw me off my game when it happened. But I always turn the sliders all the way up.
Explain what
So that
sliders are.
okay, so sliders are like the abilities that we can have. So if my players are really low overall when it comes to those abilities, like, not cheating,
Yeah.
then I have to, like, I feel like I have to, I don't have to, but I feel like I
So
have
you
to.
turn everything on easy. So you have more fun and you don't mind playing that way, correct?
No, I don't care.
Right. Okay. So it's more fun to you.
It's just, I just don't like striking out.
Oh, okay. Well, that's part of playing baseball, but okay. And by the way, you did a lot of that in Little League.
I know, that's why I'm like playing the game like I can't repeat history.
Gotcha. Okay. So you put everything on easy, correct?
Right.
Okay. And then what? So you're doing really well in the game, correct?
So I'm hitting like 180 homers before All-Star break every season.
Which, by the way, a
And then
typical home run year is for like the best of the
like
best in the
25 or 30.
yeah. Well, no, I'd say 50 for like the best Major League Baseball players.
Right, but the average would be like, I mean, the average that's more like 20.
Okay, average is way less than 20, but go ahead.
Are you sure?
20 home runs at the All-Star break is a lot of home runs.
No, I meant like overall.
I don't know. 180 is stupid. I mean, it's not possible. The most that have ever been hit in a season is 70. What is it? 73?
Okay, well,
So, but you've hit,
anyway,
but you've made the game to where you can hit 180. That's how easy it is before the All-Star break, correct?
that might have been a little bit of an exaggeration, but yeah.
All right. Continue.
Yeah. Okay, so I was like, why am I still in the minors after like hitting 360 home runs like in 2 seasons? And
That, by the way, that number's insane. And if that were real life, you would have been promoted to the bigs.
yeah, so I'm like, this doesn't make sense, right?
So you're playing this game and you're doing well and you're not getting promoted.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm thinking like, is this like a mystery that I have to like solve because this is getting ridiculous. So I then go online and I look up how to get promoted to the big leagues faster on Road to the Show 23. And they say, unfortunately, this year, turning up sliders means you gain experience way slower than you would before. And I was like, oh, Christ.
Right.
And that's when I realized I had to restart.
So basically, you can't get promoted playing the way that you play.
Well, you can, but it's going to take longer, like
Like,
way longer.
so how long had you been kind of waiting to get to go to the show?
About a season and a half.
So you had no, but you, so you had no idea. So you wasted a bunch of time playing a game and getting nowhere on it. But video games are a waste of time no matter what.
You play them.
Very rarely. But they are, I don't spend 2 weeks trying to get to the pros on a game. I mean, if I get there, I get there, but I don't play like that.
Well, I mean, I do other stuff too, but like when I'm home, I
Now,
get on my
I'm just saying that that video games are a waste of time.
I don't know.
But you wasted even more time playing, not getting to the pros, because like you like to basically, as I call it, you like to cheat. You're cheating the game, or making it as easy as possible for you and as difficult as you can for your opponent. And whenever I have always picked up a controller and played a game, like hey, let me play for a second, that you're doing, for some reason I'm the greatest player of all time.
Yeah.
And I always ask you, do you have the sliders up? And you're like, yeah. And you know me, I'm like the opposite. So what happened when you turned the sliders off, when you stopped cheating?
So, all right, let me look at my stats like right now. So now that I'm off the sliders, I'm about 30 or 40 games in, and I'm batting 248. I have 33 hits, 20 RBIs, and 5 home runs.
Right. So that's normal.
Right. It kind of feels good to like kind of succeed without,
Um, maybe you're
cheating constantly.
maybe you're learning a lesson.
Huh?
Maybe you're learning a lesson.
I'm
Now,
just kind of
let me one more time, and I just want to go over this with you, because I'm officially, and no offense, rejecting these backgrounds, but I like where your head's at. The only reason I'm rejecting them is the safety of my viewers. That I can't verify that these won't cause damages to your retina.
okay.
Okay, so I'm rejecting them on the premise that I like them, but they're not. I mean, they're not really usable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they are, just not here.
Yeah.
Like on a game show, that would be good. This is just, they're not good.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I guess I'll do better.
It's no, you did fine. I'm just formally rejecting them. So,
All right.
all right, bye. Okay. Well, so that was that. That was good. So, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the Lab After Dark, surprise edition. I guess it's like 11 o'clock here on the West Coast. That means it would be 2 p.m. on the East Coast and another day in Australia. And then if you live anywhere else, I have no friggin' idea what time it is for you, but welcome to the show. Good to see you. Hold on. Okay. Fair enough. Good enough. 1 a.m. in Texas. I figured I know Mountain Time, and I know Central Time, and I know all that kind of stuff. Come on, y'all, hit the like for Josh. Yeah, please, if you're so inclined. But anyway, it is great to see everybody. I wasn't going to do a show because I have nothing planned, but I was just noticing there's a lot of other horse shit that was on that probably was boring to people. So I was like, okay, well, why don't I thought that maybe I would just come live and talk for a second. I like to talk. I sometimes I don't like it, and sometimes I do. But just really, it really depends on the day. Really depends on the day. Like I woke up this morning and Otis wasn't feeling good, but now he's fine. But initially, when it first happens, you always go, "Oh," it's never a comfortable feeling. And then I saw Cher was I didn't see any of Cher's show except about 3 or 4 minutes, and um, I hadn't caught any of it. So I wonder if there was anything in there. I know that I know that they're going through a breakup, a separation of sorts, as friends. Man, really losing out on that one. It's gonna be all right. I noticed. I don't. Did anybody see that video? And I don't want to get political, but it looked like Biden was like walking in a circle again. He was somewhere and he like seemed confused and he like walked in a circle. And I was just like, oh my God, poor guy. They did him dirty. They're like, dude, you're gonna be you're gonna be our front man, and we're gonna put you on strings. And I have an 80-year-old grandma. I just could not imagine. I could not imagine her, first of all, being the president, because who would want to do that? But second of all, at 80 years old, like holy crap. This could be like I've thought about this scenario, and like I said, I don't really care that much, but it's going to be really interesting because I think something that's never happened before in the history of politics is going to happen. We're probably going to end up with a president like serving from jail. I mean, I just see that happening. I don't know. I just think it's going to happen. Uh, but that'll be interesting. I mean, you can't like throw a guy. You can't just throw a guy out there that walks around, you know, like a Roomba or whatever it is that he looks. I mean, he looks old and lost. It's kind of sad, but um, you know, and the not the funniest thing, but like I don't think he fell, but let me see here. I think he just got lost or something. I don't know. Come on, man. Come on. And then I was watching UFC tonight. The I don't know. I'm sure not many people watch UFC here, but he's old as hell. He is old as hell. AI Josh Biden has all of his faculties. I don't know if he has all of his faculties or not. I mean, it doesn't look like he has all of them, but I don't think that most people have all of their faculties. But yeah, I was watching the UFC and then I saw Trump walk in with Dana White, Kid Rock, and Tucker Carlson. It's like a January 6th wet dream. That was impressive. The place like just goes crazy for him, and from New York too. So I always thought that was interesting. But yeah, he goes to all those UFC events. I think the reason that he goes because he's really good friends. I think Trump is really good friends with Dana White, the president of the UFC, and not because of anything political, but only I think it's only because when Dana was trying to put on fights way back in the day, most venues wouldn't allow him to hold those things there. And so I think Dana White allowed him to hold fights in his hotel, something like that, casinos or something like that. And so I just think it's funny that they always hang. Josh, watch out, a lot are deceased after this one. Which one? What are you talking about? I don't know what that means. I wonder if there are official. Can we get some younger blood? Well, that's a great question. And without, let me see here. I'm going to address this and then I'm just going to pull out of that because I don't want to get political because I'm not. But I do think that if you have to be 35 to run for president, that there should be a cap on the age that you can run for president. I just don't think people in their like mid 70s, early 70s, mid 70s, friggin' 80s should be running for president. I just don't think that is I just think it's stupid. I don't understand it. I have no clue why that was never. I mean, if if you can, if you, I'll be 38. I think Wednesday. I can't remember the day. I would only be able to have ran for president last election for the very first time. And then you have people, I mean, I think 65 should probably be, I think 65 is probably a good, I mean, even that's a little high for, but 65 and you're what, early, mid 70s if you get reelected. I think that's probably good, but I have never understood. I have never understood why there's an age limit to run at a minimum age limit, but there's no. You can be 175 as long as you're alive. You can run for president. Now, at 175, you have a chance of fighting in the Civil War for the South at some point, and then I think that because of that, you would be disqualified. But if you did not run, or if you didn't go with the South, then you could literally be 200 years old and run for president if you're alive, if you've taken care of yourself, if you're Moses or um, you know Abraham, born in the flood. True crime, yeah, there is. The judges have to stop. I think at what, like 70 something. Now, Supreme Court judges, I think, is a lifetime appointment, which is another stupid thing. And once again, political. I don't care, but I noticed that the judge of Alex Murdoch's trial that they're asking for him to be removed, but I think he has to retire. I think that they're forcing him to retire. And so, which I think is weird too, because he actually seems like he has everything going, but I don't know. And I just, it's going to come down to those two guys again, probably. And you're just going like, oh God. And it's just going to be a disaster all over again. And people are going to fight and hate each other. I'll be here to pick up. I will pick up the pieces and comfort everybody and say, guess what? No, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of life. Just that's my personal opinion. I remember reading a book one time. It was the CIA. It was a confidential CIA agent off the record on a book, and they were talking about how the president doesn't actually really run the United States. It's actually the CIA, and that the CIA doesn't answer to the president, and they look at him like he's a temporary employee because he's only there for maximum of 8 years. And so that I've always found kind of interesting that they absolutely they don't answer to the president. They're just it's just the CIA, you know. And that they don't really care about the president. They're there to fight off communism. Basically, I mean that's really what they. I think that's what they're there for. I don't know what the hell they're there for. I don't even know. I don't even know if the CIA is real. So I don't even know. I know it stands for Central Intelligence Agency, but like, why Central? It's just Central is is a very dynamic central, you know, central. I would never. And the people, you know, just yeah, you should not be over 65 running for president. Just my opinion, politics aside, it's a younger person's game. Um, all politicians suck. They're all corrupt, so it doesn't matter. Just can we have people that either have some impulse control or bowel control, one or the other. I'll take one or the other. We don't it seems like we don't have a lot of it's just weird to me. It's so weird. Like Donald Trump and Joe Biden should legitimately be like playing bingo every weekend. Both of them. They it's just they're just old. My favorite was Reagan. I hope there's an age limit on strippers. There's no age limit. There's none. There's no such thing as an age limit on strippers either. I just, I think it's more of a, when you get to that point, I think that's more of a supply and demand type thing. You know, you can be a stripper if, you know, you're 96 or 7, but your business just might not be cracking anymore, you know. It'd be like a contractor that's 117, you know, he's probably not going to drum up a lot of business. And but there's no age limit. There's no age limit on strippers, there's no age limits on presidents or Supreme Court judges. So, and I'm just saying that yeah, I Get girl, you're right. I probably would be surprised. The thing about that though is I wouldn't really be surprised, but you got to understand that like at a certain age, all of us are gonna, you know, you're not gonna, you can't climb a pole when you're like 90. You just can't. It's just not there. I don't see an insurance company or a business putting their neck on the line for a stripper, a 90-year-old stripper at the top of a pole. That's bad business, very bad business management, and it shouldn't be allowed. But there is no age limit. Okay. It's just dangerous for all. It's just dangerous. It's like, you know, it's no different than you letting a doctor pretend to be a doctor who's not a doctor. It's dangerous. It's a very bad idea. Somebody's going to get hurt. In the case of the pretending doctor, probably the patient will get hurt. And then in the term of a stripper, male or female, will probably hurt themselves. You know, I mean, I can't climb up. I couldn't even climb that rope in school. You know, that one that they'd make you climb in front of everybody, and then and like there were some kids that could do it, and then the kids that couldn't do it were automatically, you know, losers. Yeah, I don't want to be gender specific, but like a 400-pound person on a pole is just not a good idea. Um, but yeah, I don't know if anybody remembers those like those. You have to have incredible upper body strength to climb to the top of, and you have to ring the bell, and everybody'd stand around and go, yeah, when you did it. And then when you didn't, everybody go, ah, fat boy. pissed. I just had a major flashback. Major flashback. I'm pissed. Like we used to play shirts and skins and during basketball. Rec league basketball, meaning some dad that none of us had ever met before would pick everybody up in a van, already off to a bad start, take you to a gym, and five boys on one side would wear their shirts, five boys on the other side were skins. And typically the fattest kids always ended up the skins. Hey, and you'd have to sit there and be like, oh, okay. And can you imagine that happening now? Now they have reversible jerseys and what do they call it? Little binkies and whatever. But you know, you just kind of sit. First of all, it's cold in those gyms because you play in the winter. But you should, like, if you're think about this today, if you show up to a basketball game or a practice to pick your kid up, you know, and they're doing the shirts and the skins like we used to, you're gonna be like, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, it's not a good thing. It's embarrassing. Like, but it was completely acceptable because the coaches were so ridiculously lazy that you know, getting scrimmage vests would be way too hard. And then it's just that the rec basketball league that we had was so ghetto. Like it was the most like crappy ran. The gyms were just dilapidated and it was just a shoddy system. Very shoddy system. They always like the kids, the equipment that the kids wear today or that they get to use today, like youth sports is psychotic. And I mean, I love sports and I went through that with my children. I played youth sports and it's crazy. Like people are absolutely insane. You think that people on the internet are insane. Go to a youth sporting event that has a trophy on the line and you're liable to see some furniture moving by the parents. It gets out of hand, just out of control. I remember I was coaching a third and fourth grade basketball championship game, and they had to postpone the game because the gym was too crowded and they needed to bring in an extra referee for a third and fourth grade champion game. A grandmother at that game got thrown out, tossed out of the game, and refused to leave. And the only reason she left is because they threatened to forfeit the game that her grandson was playing on. No joke. I watched it happen. I'd never seen anything quite like it. I felt like society was collapsing in front of my eyes. I felt like it was Fear of the Walking Dead was getting ready to start. I'm not kidding. I said, and she was like, no, I'm not leaving. I was like, they threatened to call the cops on her. And she's like, I'm not leaving. So finally, the only thing that the refs could do is they said, well, you're you're gonna forfeit the game. We're leaving. So they got her out of there somehow, but she wasn't gonna leave. She was badass, dude. She was mean as nails. It was just is absolutely scary. And but I've seen tons of stuff like that. I've seen parents want to get into brawls after the game from opposing teams, and um, I'm so glad that I don't have to deal with that stuff anymore. They they had a coach one time. So the school that my kids went to, I actually went to the same school and I played basketball at that school. It was called Zane Middle School. It's just it's a normal school, but it's like one of the bigger it was one of the bigger middle schools, and so the basketball programs were stacked, meaning people took it very, very serious, which they shouldn't, but they did. And these kids would go try out for like 4 or 5 days, and then what would happen is they would post a, if you made it or not. So, like, there'd be kids going up looking at like the movie Rudy, like you're trying out for Notre Dame, and like kids would like not be on there and then just go away crying, like hysterically crying, and you're just sitting there like here to pick up your kid, and then you just have kids having mental breakdowns. I was like, How are you not just like calling these kids?" So, one time there was a number that you had to call, and they're like, "If you hear your name, you're on the team." Just really, really chicken crap stuff from coaches, you know. But yeah, these kids would just have these mental breakdowns if they didn't make the team, and like their whole identity was built up into making the team, and your kid was, there was like a sorority of like parents of kids who it was so weird, I even got caught up in that kind of stuff. Like I'm sitting in the coach's office talking to him about, oh yeah, we got Happy Valley next week, and it's like, yeah, man, they're tough. I'm like, how do you know that? Well, because I've been watching film on them. Like, film? Yeah, film, like you're watching film. Yeah, on Happy Valley Middle School. Yep. Just like, and then I'm like, let me see that film. And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, you see number 32 there? You got to watch him. You got to seal him off the basket, coach. All right, coach. You ever seen Friday Night Lights? It was like that. Yeah. I'm buying uniforms for everybody. I did that. I swear I bought new uniforms for the team. I'm getting jackets and oh my God. It was ridiculous. So out of control. I look back now and I go like, what the hell was going on? It was scary. It was sad. Really. It was really sad. Um, yeah, look, football back east, you guys really get down. I think you're talking about football, but maybe all sports. But I know that I know that people really do get down on, especially in the South, Texas and Louisiana and Tennessee and places like that. So I remember that Ronell one time got cut from a team that I obviously thought that he shouldn't have. I mean, the kid turned out to be like one of the best ball players, but this like maybe seventh grade, sixth grade, something like that. And they had this coach who didn't really. He was all about having fast players, not tall, like athletic player. It was really weird. I was really blown away by it, and Ronell was obviously devastated, and then he was like, "Well, I'm never gonna get cut from another team again," and then that's how the kids end up. But here's the funny part. At so this it was a Mr. Bird was his name, and they actually tried to reverse it and say, "Well, yeah, no, Ronell, like, we want you to come on the team," and he basically told him, like, I'm never gonna play for you." So what he did, though, was at a carnival there was a pie throwing booth, and Ronell spent like $100 to throw pie in the guy's face like all night. So I think he got his revenge. He was very proud of himself. I love you, Linda. Thank you for being a member for 5 months. One Eyed Flo, a member for 8 months. Wow. It's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. What he did was he would just he was very excited about throwing the pie in Mr. Bird's face. And even I was like, dude, I think like $100 is a little excessive to buy. And he was like, oh, it goes to a good dad. It goes to a good cause. I was like, the only cause it's going to is you feeling better cause you're mad. But I didn't. I understood. I mean, the guy kind of set himself up for it. I thought it was so funny. But just throwing pie after pie. That pie thing never get all it is a bunch of whipped cream and a but I think Ronald was putting rocks in the bottom of the pans. I'm just kidding. He didn't, but yeah. No, there was no dunk tank. And usually the pie throwing section of the carnival, and God, I've been to some carnivals. We used to go, there was a carnival, like it seemed like in the fall, every other weekend or after school, which was another thing. They're like, well, there's a carnival on Wednesday at 5:30, and I'm working a 9 to 5 then. I'm like, okay, so we're going. And then I'd have to go and be around 735 people trying to eat fried foods and playing cornhole. So that sucked, but I did it. But the pie throwing booths weren't exactly popping until Ronell said that this is what I'm going to do. And I think that I'm sure the pie throwing booth, because then his like little friends got in on it too. They're like, yeah, dude, let's get Mr. Bird. And it was a whole, I think that he had planned this up. I think he had been on a group chat with everybody and said, "Hey guys, we're gonna pie Mr. Bird." There was like I think there was like an Xbox community. It was yeah, really nasty fried food too. Not like the not good. It was like churros and stuff. But you haven't even had dinner, so who's gonna eat a churro before dinner? You eat churros either during or after, but like a churro isn't really like an after work or after school snack, in my opinion. I'm not saying that they're not good, and I'm not talking about the health benefits of them, but a churro is not something that, yeah, corn dogs, French fries. You could go buy like a bucket of French fries, like for like 45 cents. They'd give you I don't know. I think they were cutting their own potatoes, so it was all profit. And they'd give you this big old thing for like 46 cents of just fries that weren't any good and then warm ketchup. It was, but you had to pay like these tickets. You guys remember the tickets, right? You had tickets as well. And pretending that it's currency. I didn't like that either, but I think they were centralizing. They were kind of say, I even remember telling Peyton that. I said, I don't like the way how you have to buy tickets, because say you don't use all your tickets. This is just me thinking out loud. But say you don't use all those tickets. You're not going to get a refund for those, right? Of course not. So you have to go, if you don't want to spend big and you're on a budget, you're going back and you're going, okay, here, I'll take 2 more tickets, but you got to go all the way back across the playground, through the monkey bars, through Mrs. Johnson's door that she had the back door open, the front door open. You walk through, and then there's just a bunch of kids looking at like mineral rocks and stuff. And then you get there. You're like, can I have 2 more tickets? And then you go back and you're like, all right, I got my tickets. And they go, well, it's 3 tickets. And then so you got to go back again. Never good. It's never fun. It was a lot of work. But yeah, the 50-50 raffles, those things were a ripoff, because everybody expects you to donate the money back. Like if you win the 50, if you win the 50-50 and you don't donate the money back, people are going to talk about you. Stay away from the 50-50. They walk around and they get the like the little kids to do 50-50. 50-50. And you're like, all right, I'll take 20 tickets. And then you do. And then they're like, the grand total of tonight's 50-50 was $1,000. Winner gets 500. And then the person would win, and it would be some like rich business owner because they put in like most of it. And they're like, oh no, donate it back. And then the crowd would go wild. So if you didn't donate it back, dude, you were in trouble. You have to donate it back. You just have to. You don't have a choice. You have to donate it back. And it's funny too, because like sometimes people wouldn't donate it back, and that was always. I mean, come on, people would still kind of clap, but it would be like that soft, like golf clap. It wouldn't be the cheering. Save the children, save the children. That's what it was. But is there anybody here that ever won a 50-50 that didn't donate it back? I never had. I think I maybe won one 50-50, but I can't remember. And but yeah, I think, but it wasn't a big one. Thank God. And truthfully, I was like, yeah, why should they donate it back? Like, that's what the point is. 50-50. It's a raffle. Donate it back. Donate. It's like those people at baseball games, like when somebody hits a home run and they catch a once in a lifetime ball, but it's hit by the other team. So then they throw it back, which to me is kind of gangster. And I kind of do respect that. And I also do respect them, people not giving in to quote unquote donating back. Debbie C says that she has never heard of 50-50, just 51-50. Got it. I understand. You see a lot of 51-50 around. Gig Girl says they can pry it from her cold, dead hands. It's dead, cold, dead single mama hands. Yikes. Yeah. Good luck getting that back, huh? If it wasn't for bad luck, you never won a 50-50? I think I have, but I just, have you ever seen somebody throw the baseball back? I always just go, that's so stupid. Go give it to a little kid or something. But no, they want their moment of glory. Oh, look at me. I'm throwing the ball back. Whoa. And it's just some like red-faced drunk dude who jumps over the barriers and runs onto the wherever and grabs it and then hucks it back as hard as he can, but he barely makes it over the fence because, well, he's an old fat drunk guy at a baseball game running down home run balls. Because there's a lot of people like that. Like I was just telling Linda, my buddy who is out of his mind, and I hope he doesn't see this because he'll probably get mad at me for it, but he's out of his mind. He's crazy. He loves going to these he loves going to events, but not like events from where he's from. He actually flies across the country all the time and hangs out in this town that he's not from, but he somehow has assimilated himself to the culture, and he attends baseball games and hockey games. And the other day, I'm scrolling on Instagram because I follow this like sports page, and I see him back east on this thing, like cheering on some team, pretending that he's from the place that he's not from. I always thought that was weird. Always found that to be interesting. It was hilarious, but no. But what he would do is a lot of the times, like on these post-rap shows or whatever, if you've ever watched College Game Day, there's a live audience behind it and people are back there cheering. Well, in this case, it was just a bunch of like little kids and mothers with their little kids. And somehow he had like managed to wedge his entire fat ass up front in front of kids where he blocked off probably 6 of them, and he was swinging the towel. I was just talking to Linda about this. He was swinging his towel like, "Eh." I could see him. I was watching on TV. I didn't even know he was there, and I'm going, "Oh my god, dude." I was just watching the game. And then I was like, "What the hell is he doing there? Why is he up front? Why did he push the kids out of the way? Why is he screaming so loud?" And it was obnoxious, to say the least. It was obnoxious. But it was funny. But I know that there was like little kids. He's the same kind of dude that would pee in the, like, the urinals, and then they had the short one for, either a little person or a child, and he would probably be one of the dudes that would like pee in that thing, like laugh about it, because then a little kid go pee in a big one or something. It just seemed like that kind of guy. Just I don't know why he's always doing that kind of stuff. It's odd to me, but he's doing his thing. He's just like living his life. No, it was the San Francisco Giants, and it was when the Giants were on their hot streak. But uh, no, I don't want to get too specific. I'm sure if he watches this, like, he's gonna know that this is about him. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that he doesn't watch this, because nobody really does. And so I think I'm comfortable enough saying that, yeah, he's from California, but he travels to Boston, and he even sometimes talks with a Boston accent, but not from Boston. You know, it's just not. He's not from Boston, and to pretend that he is weird. Yeah, he's going to Red Sox games, going, "Put in Jonathan Papelbon, you dirty rat, you rat bastard." And then he would sing the "Hey Sweet Caroline, bum bum bum," and maybe it was on his bucket list. Well, then he must only have one thing on his bucket list, because he's done crossed that off 100 times. Dusty P pitching. Let's go. Red Sox. Screw the Yanks. That sounded Irish. I lost it. I lost the accent halfway through. It wasn't good. I had it for a second, and then I went down. I can't do a great Boston accent, but so the people take balls out of the kids' hands at games, are the worst. I've seen that too. I've seen that too. That's pretty sick. It's true. And it happens. It absolutely happens. But yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. But I'm scrolling through Instagram, and it's this page that I follow. Like, there's probably a million and change follow this account. And there's a reporter walking up to people on the street, asking them how they feel about the Toronto Maple Leafs uh, doing so well, but they're asking the Boston. I don't even know what the hockey team from Boston is. Can't be is it the Penguins? I don't know. Boston Bruins. The Bruins. My bad. And they're walking up asking people how they feel about it, and what he says. Somehow he gets on this huge page on Instagram, and I'm scrolling through, and I'm going, "Oh my, this just happened." I'm looking and go, "Oh my god, here we go again. Here we go again." I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe I was sitting there looking at him. The guy literally turned his man cave into he's not even from Boston, so I don't understand it, but he loves the place. I like Boston too, and I like the way people from Boston talk but my experience in Boston is that it really there's some certain streets that really smell like pee pee. Maybe that was just, you know, I was only like 12, so maybe it was me. Maybe I was the one that pee peed and don't remember. I don't know. Ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, he likes to go to the games and sing and he likes to sing the Sweet Caroline song the loudest, like louder than everybody. He really emphasizes the bum bum bum. I was just like, bro, relax. But he's living it, man. He's having a good time. It's hard for me to. I love Boston. It's a great city. Chowder, yeah, chowder and what is it? What do they call that? The lobster roll, lobster chowder. My family's from Boston, but I'm on the West Coast. Spent a summer there and came back with a full blown accent as a kid. It makes sense. He, however, was like 35 the first time he went there, so he didn't need to learn anything, nor did he. He didn't learn anything. He somehow manifest. Have you know, my grandma, or yeah, my grandma, for some reason, if we ever at a restaurant when we were kids, for some reason, she got the accent of whatever place we were eating at, whether that be Asian, Mexican, Peruvian. I don't know if we ever been to a Peruvian place, but Indian. And I'd always like get really embarrassed about it. And just like, oh my God. And she can't help it either because there's a girl that one of our neighbors that I grew up with, her name's Teresa. And I went to school with her you know, her brother, best friends. And um, what they would do is Teresa's mother and my grandmother, when they would like run out of ingredients or something, they just call each other like, "Can I borrow an egg?" Because we literally shared a fence, and she would send Teresa over because it was just around the corner. And I remember hearing this one time. Oh my God, my grandma's gonna kill me. She she comes over and we had a couple of eggs for her, and the she was like, my grandma said, "Oh, hi, Teresa," and she's like, "Hi." She goes, what are you making for dinner?" And she goes, this is Teresa. So, you know, she has Down syndrome. She says, this is how she says it. She says, "Meatloaf." And my grandma gets like excited and looks at her and goes, "Meatloaf?" And I just went, and then she gives her the eggs and she leaves. And I said, "Grandma, why did you say that?" And she's like, "I don't know." Oh man. I remember that like it was yesterday. That was the funniest. It was just like he was getting so mad when we pointed it out. She was so mad. She wasn't doing it. That's just how she was. That's how she is. "What are you having for dinner?" "Meatloaf." "Meatloaf?" I was like, "Oh, jeez. You can say meatloaf fine, Grandma. Now, potatoes and stuff like that, she can't say so fine. Potatoes, taters. Meatloaf." I was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" Oh man. I remember that. That was just too good. So good. I love Meatloaf too. Um, a lot. But had- she didn't first of all, she didn't mean to do it. And then she was I think I think that she realized she was like, "Uh-oh, boy." Shouldn't have. And if we bring it up to her to this day, she gets pissed. It's like, hey, remember when you said meatloaf instead of meatloaf? And then she gets pissed about it. But oh, it was just so funny. I was just dying laughing. I do. I cook good meatloaf for sure. Absolutely. That chorizo was the best when we were kids growing up. Um, I mean, we were just all around each other all the time. So it was like me, my sister, um, Greg, which was her brother, her, and then another, their other sister, Mary. So we'd all, because we all lived in the same block, and we would play sports all the time. And Teresa, she had this fantastic line that I still remember to this day. She, for some reason, she always wanted to, when we would play baseball, she always wanted to be the catcher. She thought that catcher was like the best position. And she was just like, I want to be the catcher. I want to be the catcher. So, most of the time she would be the catcher. And if her brother was being mean to her, he'd be like, no, you have to go play right field. And she's like, no, I want to be the catcher. Now you're going to be right field. And when to her, that was just an insult. We didn't even have a right field. Like he was just, being a jerk to his sister. And, stupidest thing. And he would tell her, she'd go, I'm going to be the catcher. And he'd go, no. And finally, she would have enough. She would pick up her stuff and go, and this was her line every time she was pissed off. And she said it. And we knew when she had reached her bullshit limit with Greg, specifically her brother, she reached it. She would say, no happy no more, no play no more. And she'd pack her stuff up and head inside. And you had about 3 minutes before she got inside until you heard the mom go, Greg. And then we're like, ugh. And then he'd have to go inside and the game was over. So that's how that ended. But that was her deal. And anytime she would head in, you knew that like Greg was going to get yelled at for sure. It was just going to happen. No happy no more, no play no more. Once you heard those words, you knew that Greg was going to spend the rest of the day in the house because he was being a jerk to his older sister. But that was just how it was. No happy no more, no play no more. I don't think that you could convince anybody or say something more convincing. Like she's not happy and she's not playing no more. She picked up everything. She packed her stuff up and headed in from the little cul-de-sac that we would play on right into the house. And like I said, you could time it because it would take her about 2 minutes to pack everything up and chug inside and go into wherever her mother was and complain that Greg said that she can't play right or that she can't play catcher, that she has to play right field. So usually when she wasn't happy no more, there was no play no more because Greg would have to go inside and I, there was nobody else to play with. She was gone. He was gone. Everybody was gone. No happy no more. No play no more. And she meant it too. She meant it. I'd never heard that, but it is really cute. Uh, nah, I don't think she gets probably, but I don't think she gets put in many of those situations anymore. I mean, it's really just her and her mother now. Times have changed, so but I'm sure when she's not happy, she probably says something like that. Yeah, thanks, Greg. Yeah, dick. No happy no more, no play no more, dude. I mean, that's just how it is. It's one of the greatest things I'd ever heard somebody say because you knew when she had hit her limit. No happy no more, no play no more. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Greg. He's And then the funniest thing was she used to grab him by the neck, which was like the greatest thing ever. And she would do this thing called the Vulcan neck pinch, and she would like find his she knew his pressure point. She had incredibly strong hands, so um, when she would get a hold of him, you had it coming though. You had it coming. She just she went in for the neck, bro, and she was really short, so it was like perfect. She could like, bah, get him right in the side of the. He deserved it every time, but she was very adamant about no happy no more, no play no more. And then if she could get her hands on Greg, she would try and choke him out. Fair enough. I thought it was fair enough. I mean, you want to play catcher, you want to play catcher. Shouldn't have to compromise, and she didn't. She never once played right field, even though Greg tried to put her out there all the time. But yeah, she went right after his jugular, man. She was just like Jackie Chan him. I mean, he would get she knew how to take him down. Like this at one time, this is what he did. So he would charge. One time, his mother found out that he was charging Teresa 50 cents to play his PlayStation in the living room. Well, what happened was Teresa went and stole the 50 cents from her sister Mary. So then Mary, the house of cards came down like really, really fast on that situation. I remember thinking like, you're an absolute a-hole. And so she would steal the 50 cents from her younger sister Mary and give it to Greg. But then she would then mom would find out, and then once again you'd hear Greg, and then the day was over, so you had to go home. And then he couldn't come over, and so on. So it was just, man. And then she could play it for free the rest of the day. It's like, you're just sitting there going, oh my god, just brothers and sisters, absolutely insane. I couldn't believe that. She's like, "What on the world are you thinking, Gregory?" And he's like, "Times are hard." I don't know what he would say. This is the stupidest thing I'd ever heard somebody do. Ever. Ever. But it was funny. I mean, it wasn't really that funny at the time. Thinking back now, it's funnier. But it was only funny because she just beat the absolute dog crap out of him, too. Times are hard. Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah. Teresa can run for president. She's only like 41. And she's super like you should see her shoot basketball, man. She is the best. She's a great basketball shooter. I adore her. Um, she's she's very very sweet, and she's very cheeky, and but we used to her and I used to watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Return of the Ooze. I think Return of the Ooze. Is that what it was? Something like that. One with Shredder in it. We watched it all the time. She'd always ask me if I wanted to watch it. We watch it constantly. I loved I loved watching that movie. Um, but then she pretended to be Shredder for about 2 months straight, so we had to take a break from it. Secret of the Ooze. Is that what it was? Okay. Yeah, that's when the monsters and stuff. It was the one with Vanilla Ice. Yes, absolutely. Complete. Yes, it was the one with Vanilla Ice. Yeah. And uh but we watch it and just constantly it was the best. And then she'd just sit there and color. Just really she was really good at like I can't color for anything. But I certainly can watch Secret of the Ooze. Happy early birth. Yeah, that's right, man. What time is it midnight yet? Not quite. Let's see here. 11th. So it'll be tomorrow's the 12th. Yeah, I'll be 38. 38. Isn't that crazy? Yep, that was the one. Wait, where did your let's see. Thank you so much for your uh super sticker. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm not. It's my birthday's in 3 days, I think. So Sunday, Monday, so Wednesday. There we go. Wednesday. I'll be 38 years old. So that which is fine. I'm good with that. I got no problem. Turning 38 is better than the alternative. And you know what the alternative is? Don't pretend that you don't. We all know. We all know it is a big week. It's a very big week, Linda. Very big week. Should be gonna have a lot of fun this week. And tomorrow I think I'm on after the interview room tomorrow, like right after again. And I think I'm doing an after dark. I have something. I sort of had something. I don't have anything planned tonight. I didn't have anything planned. Um, I can't believe I've even been on for an hour and whatever. You're still a baby. I mean, I'm a baby that I have a uh, son that's 19 and a son that's 18, so can't be that much of a baby, you know. Getting creaky. Creaky. Yeah. Birthday's coming. I'll be an old man. I'm telling you. Telling you. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, for being here. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one. See you guys tomorrow. At some point. I think. Well, happy birthday. Karen, good night. We'll be there. Good night.